Getting your website to rank on search engines is a pretty hot topic today. What about ranking for a particular city, even if your business isn't located in that city? Well, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to start from scratch and show you my process for how I go about getting traffic in a particular city. Let's do it. So my business is relatively new still. Up until October of 2019, I worked for a digital marketing agency doing local search engine optimization, and then moved full-time into my business, Digital Red Panther. Right off the bat, young businesses generally have a little more difficult time ranking because they haven't had time to gain the trust of search engines like Google. I'm not saying it can't be done, I'm just saying it can be a little bit more difficult. So if you do have a website that is young, it's usually best to target less competitive cities and less competitive keywords. However, I'm an extremely competitive person and I like to defy the odds. So I'm going to target one of the most competitive keywords in the most competitive city in Minnesota. And you might be thinking, Minnesota can't be that competitive, but you might be surprised. There's a lot of competition in Minnesota, especially in the SEO industry. So I'm going to start at the bottom of Google and work my way up to the top for the search term Minneapolis SEO. It might take 1 week or it might take 5 years, but either way, I'm ready for the journey. I'm physically located in Apple Valley, Minnesota, and I want to rank for Minneapolis, which is about 25 minutes away. In order to do this, I'm going to have to create a landing page specifically for Minneapolis SEO, and it seems like that's what all my competition is doing already. So whether they're located in Minneapolis or not, you need to make a landing page for Minneapolis SEO. As I briefly mentioned before, I have a good amount of experience with local search engine optimization from the agency I worked at previously. Generally, Google doesn't like to show non-local search results. However, with a good amount of strategy and using some tips and tricks I've learned along the way, I'm going to put them to the test to see how difficult this task really is. So I've checked out my competition and there are some heavy hitters. They have high domain authority, great landing pages, and most important of all, they are actually located in Minneapolis. In order to get up to their level, I'm going to need to focus on creating excellent content, my unique selling point, and a great user experience on my landing page. So here's the outline I whipped up. I think a big mistake that some marketers make too often is writing up content and then throwing in keywords where they think it might fit. What I like to do is, and what I think Google likes best, is content that explains the keywords in full. So rather than using keywords as just words, I use them as topics. So for example, I'm going to write a whole paragraph around custom SEO strategies, a whole paragraph around hardworking SEO, and so on. I found topic ideas by looking at the suggested keywords on the bottom of Google, scanning through my competitors' pages, and also by using SEMrush. Next, it was time to write up the actual content itself. I didn't really have any specific requirements, but I wanted to make sure it was lengthy enough to be considered complete by Google, while also still being user-friendly. I ended up with about 1,000 words, and although I absolutely think it's possible to rank with 1,000 words, I wanted to make sure that Google considers me for the running, so I boosted it up to just over 1,700 words, which is just above the average word count for pages currently ranking for Minneapolis SEO on the first page. I made sure to mention Minneapolis SEO several times, as that's the only way Google's going to know who I'm targeting. I also made sure not to make it look like I was keyword stuffing, as that will only make my chances even more slim. Next, it's time to build the page itself. I didn't go crazy with the page, I wanted to keep it rather simple, but still visually pleasing on the eyes. I did my best to break up chunks and do a max of 2 paragraphs. To be honest, the page is a bit blocky, so I may be making some more tweaks here and there, but for now I think it gets the job done. The title tag was very important because it's the first thing users will see before clicking or not clicking onto my website. I fumbled around with different text and different order of the text. In the end, I went with Minneapolis SEO Services, no long-term contract. It's pretty similar to others' title tags in the beginning, but I'm hoping the no long-term contract at the end will separate me from the pack. The page slug is very simple, digitalredpanther.com/Minneapolis SEO. Most of my competitors are using the exact same slug, but that's okay. As I mentioned earlier, my competitors have a leg up on me in just about every category. The 2 places I think I can push through are the content and the fact that I'm a one-man crew. It's just me, and your company's experience with me will be different than a large agency. So I made sure to push through that point with my page's content, and I also added a video at the top to highlight this. The authority of my competitors are much higher than mine. They have much more years of experience, customer reviews, and backlinks. I believe I have a leg up on the content of this particular page, but it's pretty even. There are some designs that are better than mine and some that are worse, so I'd put myself right in the middle of the pack for design. In terms of user experience, I believe my landing page is above average. Mobile friendliness has to do with user experience, although our industry tends to attract more desktop visits than mobile visits. Either way, my mobile page is very simple and easy to maneuver. Page speed doesn't have too much of an impact on page rankings, however, what little impact it does make will go in my favor. I use Webflow, which is almost always going to be faster than WordPress unless you're going to put crazy amounts of graphics and such that you're loading onto it. I say that 95% of web design and SEO companies in my area are using WordPress these days. It's hard to compare title tags and meta descriptions, but I believe I've written mine in a way that will attract a good crowd, as lots of companies want a month-to-month contract rather than a full year. So, do I think I have a shot at ranking on the first page? Well, it's not going to be easy, but I believe I've put myself in a good position to make a run at it. Google is looking at bounce rate and dwell time as factors, and I believe the video at the top of the page will help with this, as customers will hopefully sit and watch for a minute or two. Promotion is another area that I'm going to have to win at in order to have a shot at ranking on the first page. Basically, I'm going to have to do whatever it takes. Backlinks, some sort of guerrilla marketing, and getting creative. I plan on shooting another video in the future to update you on how this landing page is performing and its progress. In that video, I'll go over some of the things I've done to promote the page, and that means I have to get started on that work right now. I know I went through this really quickly, but if you want me to cover anything specific regarding this topic or anything else, please let me know. Until next time, stay safe. We'll see you later.